These hapless heroes are hoping to heaven that this heavenly halfling will be helpful. This week on Hapless Heroes.
I might have a finger in there.
Hello and welcome back to the Hapless Heroes podcast. My name is Dave and I will be your host and dungeon master for this evening. And we shall, of course, start this evening the same way we start every other one by introducing our cast. And I'm going to start let's say my right side on the table with Francesco as the fabulous Felix Fizzlebottom.
Who can sleep at a time like this?
To his right, we have John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
No matter what, it was all worth it to get pregnant his sausage friend.
To his right, we have Nicole as Boris, the benevolent butcher.
I slept great.
To her right, we have Zach as Pregnant.
Chorizo is my friend. He is the big spoon.
And to his right, we have Mike as Lord and Captain Gwyn Southwind.
I just have a really big craving for cocktail sausages.
To his right, we have James as Hoblet, the Smasher.
Good evening, friendos.
And we return to our party just having retired for the evening in the mysterious abode of one Brewhoff Lightfoot, the transmutationist that they were told about, and went to seek and found in a definitely very strange tower in or on the outskirts, perhaps, of a halfling town in halfling heaven.
If we're just opening right back up into the whole Brewhoff house situation, I'd like to just, as my sort of, everyone here has got their shtick with the whole, I have dark vision thing, or most people here, right? So I'd like to pull my own.
I have dark vision. I have dark vision.
Wait, dark here?
I invited this in. It's my fault.
It is right now, because we have hit that point just before everyone retires into their rooms, but they have not quite retired into their rooms yet, unless you would like that time to be different.
I mean, that's fine with me. I'm just saying that because, now this is my moment, Felix doesn't have to eat or breathe or sleep anymore. As part of one of my class features. Yeah, it is the undying nature. I can hold my breath indefinitely. I don't require food, water, or sleep. I still need rest. And I age more slowly. Only 1 year for every 10 years that pass, and I can't be magically aged. So, the whole no sleeping thing, Felix wouldn't have been able to sleep even if he could. Because, obviously, time is ticking. All of our hopes hinge on this one semi-reluctant halfling that really is only doing this to feed his own ego. So Felix is, as he's, going to, as people are starting to retire or do their thing, he finds, do we have, private rooms, or are we all sharing, a guest room?
You are shown to a guest suite, which is kind of oval, maybe about 30 feet by 20 feet wide, and it has 8 rooms off of the main area there that are each a little, maybe, 8 by 10 little kind of apartment room, just with a little bed and a dresser in them.
Okay, so that was what I was curious about, just making sure there was a private area for...
Yes,
okay.
There's a private area, but with a common area for everyone.
That's fine. I'm going to go retire to one of the private rooms. Felix is going to pull out of his bag of holding a very old and dusty tome. And, begin, reading through it and essentially just saying, to himself, listen, I don't know if this works or if you can hear me, but I'm going to try to, he's going to try to essentially perform a ritual to commune with, or commune for some guidance, some luck, maybe even from his patron, who
Okay, then.
knows just exactly how to formulate a brilliant plan, and is what has inspired Felix throughout his entire professional career as a warlock. And I'll spend my restful time doing that, and just sort of like hoping to glean some sort of otherworldly insight through whatever means necessary. Like I set up like, some candles, and I sit on the floor and like meditate and just try to like, again, commune with this otherworldly, because this whole time I haven't never really ever had any direct contact. I just, know that that's where my power comes from. It's still a big mystery, but this tome is something that Felix has been holding with him ever since the beginning, and it's just sort of been in his possession, and he never really, doesn't really pull it out, touch it. But this is, it's part of his backstory. It is written in there, and yeah, just do that. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put that out there and just like let that marinate and just sit. That's what Felix is doing.
Okay, good. I want to just kind of keep that thought. I want to put just the slightest of pins in it because I want to address that in a moment, but I want to see what everybody else is doing with their evenings before we really dig down on that one, because I kind of like where that's going. So, John, I'm sorry, Jarrell, what are you doing in this common area or your rooms? Are you retiring directly to sleep? Are you doing anything in particular?
Jarrell would ask for Pregnart and the what's the sausage's name again?
Chorizo.
If they would assist him in trying to take off his armor, since his squire is presumably still with what's his name? Clangan and Silverbeard. Probably still. That's going to be very traumatizing for him when we get him back.
Or he's going to be a man then. He wasn't before.
You think I'm bad?
Dwarven hookers.
Yeah. Pregnart's always down to help you take off your armor. There's nothing sexual about that. You guys are sick.
No.
He's just very helpful. And
we're specifically referencing the fact that my squire, Sven, is spending a significant amount of time with Clangan and Silverbeard Hans, sorry, not Sven. Hans is spending a significant amount of time with Clangan and Silverbeard and presumably some dwarven hookers.
You can take the presumably out of there.
I love that for him. I hope he has a good time. I hope he wears a rubber. Or a lambskin or whatever the fuck.
Wait a minute. What would it be for a dwarf? Like a...
How about we? So you know what? Let's not even dive into this. We don't need to know. These are not details that we really.
Some D&D games get into this. Some D&D games, like characters have relationships with each other, and there's sex and all that. And honestly, I don't find that to be particularly compelling adventure storytelling. So I don't really care how they do or don't have babies, because that's not part of the story.
And would Clangan have them anyway?
Well, I want to leave that up to our listeners.
He's a god.
As a creative exercise.
I could.
You guys can add some erotic fan fiction to our wiki if you like.
Please don't. Please don't. Oh, no, I don't want that. I don't want it.
New Discord. Yeah.
I want to channel.
You are inviting in a world of things that you don't know what you're asking for.
Dude, the internet is such a weird place.
I can promise you, none of you are prepared for what the internet would do with these things.
Don't care.
I know what the internet would do with these things.
You say we've only made it once we've gotten haters. I think we've only made it once we see some erotic fan fiction.
I'm pointing at him right now.
I feel pointed at. I feel seen. Thank you.
Y'all need to be super careful what kind of shit y'all wish for.
Just make it the James and Zach channel.
Yeah.
And it can
Yeah, it can only be characters involving our either characters voiced by myself or James can be involved in these erotic fixations.
I was going to say, are you really ready for Rule 34, Pregnard? Are you?
You know what?
Seems like an if you really love
If it's well written, go for it.
Right.
It won't be.
If you have a passion,
I guarantee you it
if you
won't
have a
be.
passion for it, let's see it.
Oh, no, there's going to be a lot of passion, just not any good writing.
I want to. Well, that has yet to be seen.
I'm excited. I'm very aroused.
All right. So we're going to kind of bring this one in a little bit.
Damn it.
We're gonna kind of loop this kind of side tangent in for a second, and I kind of want to shift over. So Jarrell, you are being assisted with removing your armor and
By a sausage and a frog.
Strictly
a
non-sexual.
sausage and a frog. And while I will say that while things go smoothly, they mostly go smoothly because some of the work is lubricated by frogs.
I imagine there is no getting around that.
I mean, you knew what you were asking for.
Yep,
And sausage grease.
Yep. And sausage grease.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you
really-
did conjure this 45-pound sausage.
We're really quite the twosome.
Just leaving slime
Oh,
everywhere.
yes. A duo so dynamic that Batman and Robin are shaking their heads. So good. Armor is coming off. We know that about Jarrell. So how about Boris? What are you up to on this fine and delightful evening?
So before going to bed, Boris is going to definitely go through every dresser in every sleeping alcove, looking to, see what sort of interesting stuff is in there. Starting with the one furthest from the room that Felix is in.
Okay, so in the room furthest from the one that Felix is in, and we're going to say that, we go left to right, 1 through 8. Felix is in number 1 because he didn't tell me which one he's in, so he's in the one furthest to the left, which means that, Boris, you'll be starting from the one furthest on what would be the right as you enter this room. Room, what I'm going to call in my shorthand number 8, because I'm super creative. And in that room, there is a bed with some linen sheets and a unspectacular but warm and comfortable blanket. One single pillow. It's a twin bed, wood frame. A dresser with a couple of drawers in it. They don't seem to have anything in them, but there is a Bible of the Church of Valen in the top drawer, because those magically appear in all hotel or overnight lodging drawers everywhere in all realities. Although you would wonder why there needs to be a Gospel of Valen in her own heaven. It seems redundant.
Would Boris wonder that? Would she?
I don't know. Maybe that's my own private wonderings and I'm projecting, but I'm the DM and I can do
I
that.
feel like, judging from Jarrell, it seems like the followers of Valen are just very thorough. Like they're gonna get to heaven, they're gonna be like, our job's not done. We're gonna go full tilt up here as well.
Maybe this isn't the real
Sure.
heaven. Maybe it's just a test.
They're just preaching to the choir.
I mean, would I do that? Would I have this be a fake heaven and not have it be a real test? I saw what you did there, by the way, friend. Yes, I would absolutely do that. But since we don't want this to be a 10-year-long campaign, we're not going to actually do that.
Only a 5 year
5 more years. 5 more years.
All right, then in that case, then with room 2, I'm going to start by looking under the blank. No.
All right. We're going to assume that as long as the people occupying these rooms don't object to you rifling through their rooms, that you will eventually get there. I will tell you if you find anything spectacular if I feel like it.
Yeah, 2 through 7, I'm going to continue just like popping the door, because I already know Felix is in like the last room with the door closed, right? So 2 through 7, I'm just going to like peep through really quick, rifle through the dresser, whether or not there's somebody in the room. I'm just going to pop in and like openly rifle through the dressers in those ones.
Sounds good.
And I would say that Felix had locked the door behind him, but that's sort of a moot point when we're talking about Boris. So I don't think I bothered to lock the door, because if anyone wanted to get in here, they could anyways. But do you try to enter Felix's room with the door closed? There's no sock on the door.
I mean, once I get to Felix's room, yes, but I pop the door open. I try to be quiet and not disturb him without paying any attention to really what he's doing because I don't care, but I'm trying not to bother him, so I'm trying to be completely silent and still check what's in the dresser and then just leave.
Does everyone realize that
Good.
she's walking in on
Good.
Felix pre-ritualizing?
Wait.
No. I am.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
All right. So, wait. I want to put a break there. Time is pausing for you, Boris, as you are opening the door to Felix's room. I don't want to advance past that right now. But yes, you may or may not catch him pre and or actively ritualizing.
Actively ritualizing.
Yes. Pregnart, what are you up to aside from or in addition to helping the good Lord Jarrell with his arm?
Pregnart is using shape water to fashion little hats for chorizo.
Okay, so multiple hats for chorizo, or are you doing matching hats for yourself and chorizo?
Oh, yeah, definitely matching hats.
Fantastic. Keep a thought of, any particular hat styles and that you may be wanting to wear at any given point, but I really like that. I think it's adorable.
Thank you.
Okay, so how about Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind? What are you up to at this exact and precise moment?
So Quinn walks into room number 5. Potentially after Boris has probably already been in it. He notices kind of a smell, whether there's one or not, but he thinks that there is. So he pulls out his perfume, and he just starts scenting everything in the room. Everything gets a scent. So if Boris has yet to go in there, she smells it when she goes in. It's kind of like a lavendery vanilla. And so he makes everything smell great. And then what kind of other, is there, I assume there's a bed and what other furniture is there?
There's a single twin bed made of very simple looking light stained wood, probably maybe a pine or a lightly stained oak or something like that. A dresser in a matching wood, three drawers high, stands about, I don't know, whatever dresser height usually is.
What are the linens?
The linens are actually linen. They're slightly off-white linen. 2 sheets and a blanket of we're going to call it sort of an olive greenish, sort of like army surplus or something like that. A little nicer, but not too different. In a single pillow
What's the
with
thread
a
count?
white 25.
25? Oh, geez.
It's linen.
He immediately pulls out his own set of linens, and he remakes the bed. He pulls out a down comforter that is slightly purple, but more on the, I guess, it depends on what you think of as purple. Some people say it's pink, but it's purple. So he puts the down comforter on the bed. He accepts the pillows as is. He wishes they were better, but he's happy with his new linens now.
Just as kind of a question here, from whence are you producing these bulky linens?
From whence? When I was in town last.
Okay, from where? What bag are you holding them in? You're gonna pick on my use of English. We're gonna play this fucking.
You know how there's this coat that I wear.
Okay.
So there's a special way.
Was this the coat that was borrowed?
It was. Boris had it for a while. She did return it back to me. So there's these this way of folding your linens that you can make it really, really small, and he keeps it in different pockets in his coat, just in case.
Different pockets? So you have this down comforter split into multiple pockets. Do you assemble it, sew it yourself when you're going to use it?
Yes.
Oh my god!
How big is this coat?
I mean, like you wore it.
It's sewn into the coat. Like he rips out the
There it
fucking
is.
down comforter from the inside.
Let's put it this way: the coat flips around and becomes the down comforter.
There it is.
Sure. Okay. Somebody please make a note that your coat is actually a wondrous item that can be a comforter if necessary. I don't know if it's wondrous, it's probably like rare or something like that. But we have decided that that's what it is now.
This is how you flavor a magic item into existence.
Yeah.
Love it.
Have you washed that jacket since I gave it back to you after sleeping in it for like a week? Or does it still smell like I slept in it during like a battle on a
Well, right
boat
now it
with
smells like
skeletons?
lavender and vanilla.
Currently, right, exactly. Like so, currently it is a lavender vanilla-y smell with like a weak scent of BO, but manageable with the lavender and vanilla.
Yeah. I imagine Boris doesn't frequently let herself get super ripe. Howevs.
We were had no choice.
I know preteen and teenage girls, so sometimes, not always.
Ugh. That's fair.
But anyhoozle, let's get to because Quinn, I imagine this process takes at least a little bit of time. Scenting of the
And it's got to get and every corner has to be perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Can I make a slight adjustment to Boris's timeline in here? Or not even adjustment, but a note on Boris's timeline. When I get to room 5 is while Quinn is making the bed. And I pull a pillow out of one of my pockets, my magic pockets, that it's not that I'm wearing a pillow. I'm just going to note that. I'm not.
Yeah, see, at least I know that you have magic pockets and or a bag of holding.
Quinn
So I'm
does
just
not.
like pull a pillow out that actually kind of matches his, duvet as much as possible out of the pillows I have in my pockets. And I hand him a pillow and then continue on as I was doing before.
I don't think anything of it.
He is
I
handed.
take it and
Yep.
I put it on the bed.
You are handed a pillow. It doesn't smell like lavender and vanilla, and try as you might, you cannot make it smell like lavender and vanilla.
Fair
It
enough.
does, however,
fair.
smell like a fresh stick of bubble gum that came out of a pack of baseball cards.
I can accept that.
That's a specific smell.
I'm smelling it right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That
Good smell.
late 80s, early 90s Topps
Bubble-
baseball card pack bubble gum that was rock hard at 1st. Yeah, exactly that.
Same smell when you open a bag of Big League Chew.
Exactly. So,
Or bazooka.
Ooh, yeah. So anyway, Hoblet, what are you doing in the room that you have made it to?
Well, let's just say I haven't made it to a room quite yet. Quinn, do you make the bed first, or do you scent your room first?
Scent the room first.
Why does he
So-
look disappointed when you said that?
I don't know. I'm
Well,
curious.
So, Hoblet just wants to come in and relax. Sits
To my
down.
room?
No, just in the main
Oh,
room.
okay.
Just sit in the common room, see what everybody's doing. We've had it's been a minute since we just got to take a load off. Maybe pop some of my armor off, because I don't need squires to do so. I can just take my own armor off. And I will say Hoblet gets moderately annoyed at the Febreze smell that is wafting out of room 5.
It's not Febreze. It's
It is.
no.
It
No.
It
No,
is.
these are vanilla sticks that are not sticks. Vanilla petals that are literally been no wait. Take that back. They're lavender petals that have been soaking in vanilla, and it is a beauteous. It kind of has a slight scent of alcohol to it, Hoblet, to be honest.
Bougie Febreze.
I just bought that Febreze this week. Lavender.
No.
vanilla.
It's not
Yeah,
Febreze. You would like this smell. It has a tinge of alcohol scent to
This
it.
podcast is also not sponsored by Febreze.
Not at all. Nope.
At this point, I don't think we can be sponsored by anybody except for, I don't know,
Ourselves.
Yeah, like Manscaped might give us a look. Raid Shadow Legends
maybe.
and even shake their head and say no
Right.
thanks.
Stitch Fix.
So I'm gonna putz around for a minute until he makes his bed because I've known Quinn for a minute, so I know he's got this ridiculous blanket thing sewn into his coat or whatever. And Hoblet might try to just go into Quinn's room and maybe lay on the bed real quick and just be like, "Oh, hey,
no.
what's going on?" So I don't know, Dave, if there's like a check maybe that you want us to check off or something here, but I definitely want to try to go mess with Quinn real quick because the whole place smells like fucking lavender and vanilla now.
Yeah, it smells good.
Oh,
All right, so I'm just kind of stalling in my head for what would be a sufficient role for antagonism, and I would say that well, okay, we're gonna break it down to a few things. Hoblet is trying to enter the room. Quinn, are you physically trying to prevent Hoblet from entering the room?
How long has it been since he's showered or bathed?
long. Well,
yeah, let's.
Would I have bathed at Clangeddon? No, we don't bathe. No, it's been a minute. It's been a month.
Okay, so
well, wait. Were you? Did you make the services of any of the professional ladies who visited Clangeddon Silverbeard?
Yeah, but that's like
They
pants
insist
sweating.
you shower first.
Ah, okay. So I did shower at Clangeddon's.
Yes.
So he
Don't
doesn't smell as ripe as he normally does.
But my armor does.
Sliding scale. Yes, I mean his armor smells like rust, and any of the like padded layers underneath the mail would of course smell like a mixture of rust and BO. But I mean, for Hoblet,
Yeah, it's better than it normally is.
yeah, sliding scale and all.
Let me put it this way. I passively try to, like, I don't prevent him from coming in the room, but you know how, like, when you don't want somebody at your house, you just stand in the doorway? Does that make sense? So I'm, like, passively just, like, blocking his path into the room.
Like, oh, hey,
Okay.
bud, yeah, 'cause the long time to
Yeah.
this is great, but like,
Yeah.
you gotta like,
Right, like,
you're trying to.
arm over the threshold, like, what's up? Like, how are you doing? Doing a thing here. Just, yeah, what's
All right.
up?
I don't know that I would try to force my way past him. I'm just trying to mess with him a little bit. So maybe I
Okay.
go give him a hug or something.
All right, if you're just trying to antagonize him, let's make it any charisma-based check you would want to use. Just let me know which one you're using.
It's probably gonna be
Well-
intimidation. Come on.
And
No, 'cause
maybe,
I'm not trying to
but I
scare
don't
him.
want to put words in his mouth, you know?
I'm actually gonna go with persuasion.
Okay, yeah, be persuasively annoying.
Oh,
So what's my counter check though?
Well, it's Hoblet. We're going to make it Constitution for reasons that should be obvious enough.
That's
Oh.
unfortunate for me. Okay,
Hey.
cool.
hey Quinn, you got
Actually, it's not bad. Go
you
ahead.
got any extra sheets in here or something, buddy? I think my room's a little scarce. $14.
Oh my god.
I'm in.
Hold on.
I'm
you gonna-
in, he says.
I have to make a decision, and it's not going to be a very intelligent one. But give me a second. So I just
not-
rolled.
A
I
nat
just
one.
rolled a nat one.
Do
and
not
so- Do
Don't
I?
bother. No,
No.
Do
don't
I
bother
take
wasting
my
lucky.
lucky
You know what?
feet?
Lean into it. Lean
I'm-
into it.
You cough, and by the time you finish coughing, I'm laying on the bed.
I think that's a fair assessment of that.
Yeah, I
Quite
think
a battle we had out there, friendo. Well fought.
So,
All right, now who's the big spoon?
yeah. So, like in the Peanuts comics,
Always.
when you see that Pigpen character, just that vague cloud wafts by as, you know, as Hoblet slips under the arm. You put it a little too high on the door frame, you know, misjudged the height a little bit. Hoblet walked right under the thing.
I actively just start like spritzing the area at which he walks through, just for my own benefit. But I'm definitely peeved that he is now currently laying on where I'm going to sleep.
My
sad.
bed in my room is a little bit more comfortable. Just wanted to see if I wanted to trade since it smells so good in here. Oh, thanks, buddy. And then I'll just walk out and go to my room. There's no hookers and there's no booze, so I'm going to bed.
You a dwarf or a troll?
Both things are potentially going to happen. They just aren't there yet.
Right. Not now.
You know me. You know Quinn. Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, where are you gonna? Never mind.
How many mannequin feet does he have?
Don't make it happen.
I was about to ask. Does he have more mannequin feet?
I just start like pulling hookers out of my coat.
Right, I was gonna say he's got another coat.
You mean mannequin fingers?
Your girlfriend.
Oh shit! I forgot about the mannequin thing. I might have a finger in there. Just one.
Okay.
One finger.
This leaves me with more questions, but I don't want the answers to.
You don't want the answers to.
I do not.
There is one thumb in the pocket of the coat.
Yeah. Some
But that's just for the audience to know.
crossed.
None of the characters actually know that it's there.
No, but
That's
we
just
do
for-
now.
You do now.
Boris
Yeah.
probably will.
Oh, let's move on, please.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So we've gotten through these things. Boris has made the most minor of nuisances of herself by, doing a little bit of advanced scouting on the rooms, a little bit of rummaging. Hoblet has made a slightly larger nuisance of himself in a more targeted fashion. The frog and the sausage are, the ray of purity that they have always been, nothing but good and helpful, and bringing a real flavor of, I don't know, some kind
Hats.
of namaste or hats. One or the other to the group. Namaste or hats. So, we get to Felix. So you're communicating to your patron through this book. Are you?
Kind of. More like performing one of the rituals that are described in the book to attempt to commune with this entity. In order for me to do this, I can't have anything inhibiting me. So Felix is in his natural form, so alien baby, right? Completely white, pale skin. You can even see all the veins that are running through my body. It's almost like my skin is translucent. And I'm in the nude. But I'm like a Ken doll. Because Felix is a changeling. I can be man, woman, I can be, I could turn into whomever I've seen as long as they're my size, roughly. And I eyes rolled back in his head up, arms out, fingers pinched together, legs crossed, and I'm floating about 3 or 4 inches off the ground. And just speaking in tongues. Felix would not notice you entering at all.
Okay. So you're addressing the book, but you're not really paying much attention to the book then?
Once the ritual and the actual speaking and performing of it has started, it's sort of like a trance, right? It's part of the ritual. For the next however long, I'm sort of just in this repetitive and somewhat magical state, right? As I'm reading through and and reciting over and over again, that's the same passage or two, right? In whatever language it's written in.
Okay. You do that, and you kind of float, and the book floats in front of you, pages open, because it seems like a really good sort of image going on here. And as you're doing this, a line appears scrawled in a blank space on one of the pages. what was your plan B?
Is that what it is? That what's written on the?
That is yes, exactly what comes there. A nice flowing cursive, kind of like back in the days when people used to have nice flowing cursive. The plan B, has quotations around it. Question mark. Extra squiggly and curly.
Do I feel like it's expecting a response from me?
I can't tell you how you feel.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna try to regain control of my faculties a bit now that I've seen at least something happen. And pull out from my bag an ink pen or a quill. I'm sorry, right, and a ink pail. Just right back, chop my forehead off. That was plan B. And I'm going to put back a question mark at the end of that statement, and then just kind of stare at the book.
The energy hangs there for a little while, and that's when Boris would open the door and enter the room.
I was going to say, if that's the case, if Boris is walking in at the tail end of this, I'm going to shut the book immediately as she walks in and be like, "What are you doing in here? This is a private. This is I can't. No, get out."
I mean, are you facing the door?
No, I just heard. If I could see the light coming in from behind me, because this is dark, other than just the candles I have lit that I'm sitting around.
Were there lights on in the room out there?
I would assume it was well lit.
Yes, so you enter from a well-lit area into a darkened room where a pale and naked Felix, you presume, is being very agitated and animated about you walking in on him during some sort of private time.
Is she presuming that he's pale, or is she presuming that he's naked?
There's no presumption. This is fact.
There was the word presuming in that. So
presuming that it's him. Presuming that it's him because you've never seen him in this form before.
Yeah, or I can't remember whether or not Boris has seen Felix in that form before, because it's really hard to keep track of all this stuff.
I don't think in that exact form.
When I was astral projecting, I did look like that.
Were you naked? You were in robes and stuff.
I was.
Right?
I was in my clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. So seeing Felix agitated, Boris can recognize that it's Felix, whether she can visibly recognize it or not.
You can also it just is auditorily recognize that it's Felix because he's shouting in a very familiar voice.
Yeah. So Boris kind of she doesn't say anything at all, and she kind of does that hunched over shoulder, if you were gonna slink out of a room backwards. So and she slinks back one step. And then kind of looks at Felix and slinks back a second step, and then looks at Felix again, and then quickly, still in the slinking position, scurries forward, looks at the drawers quickly, and then scurries back into the room and closes the door.
Okay. Yes, there is the same. Well, actually, with everything that's gone on in here, the sort of energy this room had.
Ooh.
When you open the drawer, you find a pile of ash where you would expect to have found the Gospel of Alan.
Okay, instead of just scurrying out that, and when Boris finds the pile of ash, she grabs a handful and throws it at the ground, trying to make a smoke bomb kind of reaction with it, and then scurries backward into the room and slams the door.
The ash leaves a disappointing plume, only a few inches to maybe a foot high. A pity, just about 3 feet short of what it would cause to really effectively mask your escape.
I don't know.
I still just leave anyway.
I have no idea what the fuck that was.
That just happened, and the door closes. And Felix, your room returns to darkness.
I opened the book right back up to that same page.
Underneath, it just says disappointing. Underlined, but in the same script.
Fuck. Okay. Well, that's something. I'll take that with me and try to. I'm gonna spend the rest of the night like thinking about what other like other plans.
Good. Night passes. Everyone gets a sufficient amount of sleep, enough that it would be considered a long rest, and we are awake in the morning. Now, do we have any early risers among the group?
I didn't sleep.
Really? We could have never told. So,
Every time Hoblet wakes
I
up,
don't have to sleep.
it's very dark vision of you.
every time Hoblet wakes up sober, there's something about the morning air that makes him sick. So he doesn't like to wake up early.
Sounds good. So either you brought some hair of the dog with you, or you're going to get bit. Jarrell, you're usually an early riser type, aren't you?
Yeah, he would be up early looking for the continental breakfast, which I'm sure they have.
So you're up early and in the common area, and nothing has happened yet, but it is probably the equivalent of like 6 in the morning still, because, I don't know, wacky nights and you're waking up early shit. Let's see. Boris, you're definitely not an early riser type to my knowledge. Quinn, yeah, probably sleeping in a bit. Hoblet, so you're feeling a little sick this morning, but are you doing anything about it in the early hours to try to get yourself back where you need to be?
Pregnart got up and he made some coffee already.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're sipping.
So,
He's trying to scrounge up some fixins for some flapjacks too.
Ooh,
coffee
nice.
is made, and anyone who isn't in that early riser group would awaken to the scent of perfectly brewed coffee.
Nearly heavenly.
It is. Now, in the middle of this room, and we didn't really explore the common area of the room too much, there appears to be what would be a fire pit on most people's back porches. Maybe about 2 feet high, bowl about 2 feet wide, and in it, overnight, was sort of a ethereal, dimly burning green flame.
Green flame.
There we go.
Green flame.
Get it. What is
This morning, it's a little less dim. It's a little more orange, a little more morning-y, but it's still sort of an ethereal, magical flame that's burning with no readily discernible fuel or anything like that. There are maybe about a half dozen chairs of varying sizes, but all very cushily upholstered. A couple of side and end tables around the area. The sort of area where a party could maybe meet in the morning and discuss plans or something like that while sitting around this little area. Pregnard, if you were looking to cook, you could almost certainly set up some sort of grill or something right over the top of this ethereal flame and cook it right the heck out.
I'm gonna cook some ethereal flapjacks.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Cinnamon flapjacks.
Nice.
Cinnamon flapjacks. Do you have any sort of ability that would govern cooking? I don't think they really put that in the 5th edition, but whatever ability you
Can
would
we just say that
think
Pregnard
we
is an amazing cook? He's cooked everything perfectly up until this point. If he messes up the pancakes, I'm going to be devastated.
I think we usually do performance.
Yeah, well, let's make it a quick performance check at advantage.
I rolled 2 14s. That's a 19.
Yeah, these are to the Pregnart standard, and in the vein of these ethereal pancakes, for some reason they are a light shifting blue. For reasons that you cannot discern. However, they are the best pancakes you've had in either quite
Really
some
nice
time
crispy
or
edge on them.
Dude crushed it. And he did it over a grill. There wasn't even a flat top there. He did it on a grill. He grilled flapjacks. It's not even possible, and he still did it.
The frogman knows his shit.
So, here you are at about, we're going to call it 7 in the morning now. Most of you are awake. If not, you are about to be awake, having a literally impossible breakfast, starting your morning in the house of Brewhoff Lightfoot in heaven. And not long after, there is a rap on the door, and Brewhoff himself enters. He's wearing what looked very unscientifically to be a pair of exceptionally dirty coveralls. They were blue at one point, but they're mostly brown and black. His hair sticking up in various directions, like the male pattern anime hair suffer that he is. Walks in. Morning!
Good morning, Brewhoff.
I'm glad one of you can say something.
Hope you have good news.
There's news. We're more or less ready to go. Got some of the apparatus set up. And let me tell you, I had to spend most of the damn night setting up apparatus. What the strange energies everywhere. Something does not want this to go off today.
Yeah, that checks out. I really appreciate, once again, like you going through the effort here. You are literally saving the universe, probably.
Yeah, nothing I haven't done before.
So modest.
I mean, at Brewhoff Lightfoot, the transmutationist, people don't just send, like, piles of lead over me to turn into gold. I mean, that's amateur hour stuff. Of course I'm saving the world. Men of talents like mine save the world. We don't get eggs from the store. Oh no, we invent a new chimera bird that makes brand new kinds of eggs. And then we invent a machine that shrinks the 2-foot eggs down into small, crackable eggs. And sometimes we use the scientific we.
I appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Show us the way, please. We are. Time is of the essence. I could be stricken down and smited by Valen any second now. So this would be great if you could just, we could just move it a lot.
Any of us could be smitten by Valen at any given second. You're going to have to do a lot better than that. As far as showing you the way, I'm afraid that all of my procedures are highly proprietary and slightly flammable. So no, I'm not going to show you the way. But come follow me. We will make it to the area. Listen, I'm not really a creative sort, okay? I am. I'm not word creative. Stop staring at me, damn you!
Would you like... Felix tries to look anywhere else in the room while still maintaining a conversation with him because he's trying to be polite but doesn't really know what the fuck he wants from me.
It's okay, because Brewhoff hasn't actually made eye contact with anyone since you've met him.
Okay, fair.
Dude's all over the place, looking up at the ceiling while addressing someone who's like off to the right of him. He's taken mad science to a whole new art form.
Okay.
But anyway. All right. Yeah, the talkative one and all the rest of you non-talkative folks, come on, let's go. That's stuff to do. And stumps down a hallway and passes no less than 30 doors in a straight line. Makes a left, down 2 flights of stairs, makes a right, up another 3 flights of stairs. Definitely does not fit within the confines of the building that you entered.
We've been to Legrodex. We're used to this shit now.
Oh, we've been to Legrodex. Whoop-de-doo. Anyway, when we get off on any wild tangents or talking about places that may or may not exist, but if they did exist, are highly unimpressive.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to. Okay, all right, I wasn't saying anything, bud. Your house is very impressive.
As if. And enters a room that appears to be one of those old-time operating theaters with like a bowl of seats looking down over a circular room that's maybe about 20 feet below that. It's got an old operating table with the segments on it, and like the arms that detach so you can like really strap somebody to it. And maybe about 15 feet away on what would be the opposite side of that circle is a 2-foot tall pedestal with a small wooden bowl. Okay. So here are the things I'm going to need. You, the talkative one with the gem. And as he is saying that, he is looking through Boris, presumably addressing Felix, who is maybe 15 feet away. You, the talkative one with the gem in your head. Go strap yourself into the chair.
Okay.
It's not in the form of a chair right now, and you would not be able to get the straps on yourself anyway.
So about the chair and the straps, how does
Would
that...
you stop bothering me with details?
I'm just trying to follow instructions.
I guess Jarrell will try to strap him in with his a lot of medical knowledge here.
There are no less than 30 straps on this damn thing. Some of them are leather, some are like nylon tie downs. There are a couple of broken shoelaces that are tied back together. The padding on this thing is somewhat uneven. It looks like it was cobbled together out of several different operating tables and maybe a dentist's chair.
Confidence is sky high right now.
Jarrell did roll an 18.
Well,
in
good.
Medicine check.
Excellent. Felix, you are restrained. Consider yourself grappled for the purposes of anything that would check against grappling. Do I think that's going to come up? Probably not. Okay, excellent. So we've got the one subject. So where's our other subject? Where's our broken coin, gem, crown, diamond thing?
I say through my restraints. It's in my bag. That's right there next to the chair.
Well, why didn't you put those shards in the bowl first, like I told you to?
You didn't say that.
Wait a second. No, that was the other time. Don't worry about it.
The what?
Don't worry about it. But I do need you or someone like you to put the thing being repaired into the bowl.
Okay, Jarrell. I need you to reach into my bag and just think about Hedrick, and you'll pull out the shards.
Okay. Jarrell does as instructed.
You don't happen to have anything else Hedrick related in that bag, do you?
I do not.
Okay, good. Then the shards come out on the first try. All in your hand. It's like you reached in and they were all right there, all together.
Okay.
Miraculous.
You mean embarrassingly, like an old pair of Hedrick's underwear doesn't come out of there? If Felix has to somehow explain why it's in his bag of holding.
Not this time.
that or out of tune loot or Cloud Giant toenail.
Hedrick would be embarrassed to have that. An out of tune loot.
Well, I mean, I assume that there are temperature changes inside of a bag of holding.
I don't know, actually.
Actually, there probably aren't, but that's
Isn't
neither
that
here
something
nor there.
that we know?
Yeah, that's kind of the point of a bag of holding, is that it just kind of like puts things in there, and it's just they're there in an extra dimensional space.
I'm not going to count out the existence of crappy bags of holding.
Ooh, yeah,
Oh,
knockoff.
excuse me. I don't buy knockoffs.
You don't know, man. Sometimes the labels, you can't tell.
I had this custom made for me, okay?
Hang on, I am making sure I put knockoff bag of holding in my notes because that could be an entire adventure right there out of those words.
Unfortunate bag of folding.
There are all kinds of places that can go at another time in another place. But anyhow. Okay. Are you going to put them in the bowl?
I do.
Okay. You going to put them in the bowl?
I did.
Oh, this isn't that time either. Gah!
Okay, what do you mean by that?
I could tell you, but no, I can't tell you either.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay, excellent. So we've got subject 1 in place. We've got subject 2 in place. Fantastic. So, this is going to be about, and he looks at his arm where their watch should be, brushes it a few times to, like, move the hairs on his wrist a little bit. Then sighs exasperatingly. A 2-day process.
We don't have that kind of time.
What do you mean you don't have that kind of time? I specifically instructed you to bring time.
You didn't ask for that either. What is going on?
Crap. Maybe it is that time. Okay, so what we need is time.
Uh-huh.
He needs a time transplant. He needs more time.
Give me
Running
4
out of
Cs.
time.
Give me 4 cc's of time, stat.
Bring the time. I'm not sure which time it is. My breakfast had too much time in it. Okay, I'm going to need you to go get some time. Not you, unless there's a different version of you, but the others of you, I need you to go get time. It's downstairs. I will give you the directions.
Okay.
Don't give them the hoblet.
Pregnart holds an outstretched hand with a little herbaceous thyme inside of it.
Oh, that's exactly what I had too much of in my breakfast. Weren't you listening? There's a bit of a pause after Bruhoff snaps so rudely at Pregnart. What is that buzzing? That wasn't here before. Was it? It was here after. Where's it coming from?
What buzzing?
Well, you could. You're trying to find a sound, right?
I
Something
sure
that
am.
could possibly be perceived.
You're
I think you might need to make a perception check there.
Hey, 15?
Well, something's coming from the bowl.
Jarrell will walk over to the bowl. He doesn't touch it because he doesn't want to be yelled at. But he will see if he can hear anything coming out of it.
What do we hear?
A 5-part harmony begins to resonate throughout the bowl and starts to fill the space. It fills your ears.
Oh.
I don't know how this is going to sound in a 5-part harmony, but... Cut my life into pieces. This is my final chord. In a diamond, my kingdom, broken shards denying my freedom. Would it be right? Could it be wrong? If I wrote another song, trapped inside far too long, my sanity's moving on, and my contemplations amplified. Yo, it all started with the hand of Garthax jerking me off into the darkness. Time's fleeting, so I gotta impart this feeling of a diamond enclosing my carcass. Chances shattered every part of me. It's kind of hard to be living 5-part harmony. This is not what life ought to be for a bard with a heart of gold. 'Cause I'm losing my beat, losing my pride. Wish my friends could let me outside. I'm incomplete, losing my rhymes. Hope the heroes can save me in time. Nothing is fine, frozen in time. Nothing is fine. Is this my final chord?
Amazing. That was the best one yet.
Holy
That's
fucking
incredible.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Phil. Yeah.
And that's where we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. So glad you could all join us. And if you like us, and if you approve of this bullshit maneuver I've now pulled 3 times in this last campaign of bringing somebody back,
It's our bit.
absolutely no preamble whatsoever. If you like these things, or if you are willing to tolerate them, we can be found on the internet. We're on such places as Reddit/r/Hapless Heroes Podcast. We're on Facebook. Search for Hapless Heroes Podcast. We are on both Twitter and the Gram at Hapless Heroes. Every single one of those social media outlets has some sort of sticky post, some kind of indicator, something in the description that will take you to the crown jewel of our internet presence, our Discord server, which is the place to interact with us. It is the place where we have built ourselves a little D&D and other community that we have, and we would love for you to come and join and be part of it with us. Because, I mean, community is what this game's all about, and we would be better and richer for having you in it. Now, if you
And
really-
regular social media is overrated anyways.
Yeah. Or just sort of a poor way to engage with us because of, not social media quite works the same. But anyway, if you really like us, you could leave us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. At this point, you have found a podcast service that you like listening to us on, and I don't want to rattle them off because I'm not sure which ones have a review capability anymore. I am almost certain Apple Podcasts it is now, iTunes, whatever they call it nowadays does. But if you do leave us a review, now if you're unable to do so, just send it to us in an email or throw it on our Discord server. When we see it, we will read it out loud. We will give you credit for said review. That way that we can recognize you as the 5-star human being that you are. Now, if you really, really like us, you could donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/haplessheroes. Yes, patreon.com/haplessheroes.
You do this every time.
Yeah, I know. I do it every time, and even when I think I'm getting it right, I get it wrong. For some reason, I get it right less often than flipping a coin, which is bizarre. But anyway, go to there. Look at the different ways you could support our podcast, and donations through there truly do support our podcast. If you are so kind, if you have the means and wherewithal to do so, we would very much appreciate it.
Yeah, great rewards on there, and just check it out. See if it's worth your money. All the money goes right back into the show anyways. It just helps us keep this thing going for as long as we can possibly do it for.
And if you like us, right now, you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal. Make the spiciest meatball and feed it to a nun and film her blast off to outer space due to her flatulence thereafter.
What?
Doable.
You heard me. You heard me. What I'm implying is that the spiciest meatball ever will give the nun such digestive distress that her farts will ignite such a force from beneath her that she will blast off into outer space.
That's okay.
And we want the video. And,
Okay. That's the
How's that
spiciest
help?
meatball that has ever created. Yeah, what does that do for us?
That's what I'll get a real big kick out of it.
We get the video.
Yeah.
That's what it does for us. We get the video.
Okay.
And I mean, when eventually this person definitely will be on the news, they'll say, "Why the fuck did you do this? You made the spiciest meatball ever, and you fed it to a nun. Then, therefore, a flying nun." And they'll say, "Why? But why?" And they will say, "Because I was told to do so by a stupid, stupid man who is on my favorite podcast, Hapless Heroes."
Yeah. Mamma mia, hapless heroes.
Well then.
Beelzebub might not have a devil set aside for me, but I have a whole cast set aside for you, and we are going to outro them from my left with Howlett the Smasher, played by James.
Well, it feels good to have a real singer back.
To his left, we have Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind, played by Mike.
At least I smell good.
To his left, in his glorious return, we have the one, the only, the Hedrick the Entertainer, played by Phil.
I've gotta get out of this place if it's the last thing I ever do.
To his left, we have Pregnart, played by Zach.
Do you like my hat?
To his left, we have Boris the Butcher, played by Nicole.
This must be heaven. I hear Hedrick.
To her left, we have Lord Jarrell the Light, played by John.
Until next time.
And to his left, we have the fabulous Felix Fizzlebottom, played by Francesco.
What's all this time talk? How many times have we done this?
My name is Dave, and I've been your host and Dungeon Master this evening. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.